Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree with my girl Kemi, my girl Hannah. It's me, Jessica. And welcome, everybody. It's been a few days. We want to give some shout outs. Thank you for waiting for us. And just as we do every week, if you don't already, click like, subscribe, click to receive those notifications to make sure you know that we're on this week or next week. If you don't already, share this with someone that you think might like, and comment and like, because we love it when you all comment. Last week, we had some amazing comments on our guest co-host, Busy Blue. He was amazing, and y'all were sending us some great love. Hannah, we missed you last week. Busy was hilarious.
I heard it was good. I saw the comments, and it seemed like people really enjoyed it. So I'm glad. It seemed like people really liked them.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
He's so funny.
He is so funny. Yeah, so we're in the final stretch, ladies. Like, there's literally only 2 episodes left. Next week is Women Tell All, which was very surprising given that I thought maybe they weren't going to air it. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's BS. Like, why can't they give us a live? Oh, you're talking about the Women Tell All, not the After the Final Rose. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing too. So this Women Tell All, I thought at first that it wasn't even going to happen. Like, I knew it had already been filmed, but I'm sure you guys talked about the stuff with Chris Harrison last week. And so I really was kind of like, oh, shoot, like, are we not even going to get to see this? Which I really want to see it just because I want to know what's going down. I want to see these girls because these girls were terrible, but they were like basically the only entertaining part of the whole season. So
Matt's kind of hot. I like
the beard. Let's get that straight. I like the beard, but I think I'm one of the only people that does.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a beard girl, but
He left.
Sorry, I had to leave and then come back in just to make sure I was like not in the Twilight Zone because.
See, look, Maya says she likes it too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know if I've said this before on other episodes, but beards aren't very COVID friendly. And so every time I see a beard, depending on if the dude knows how to I guess it would depend on if a dude knows how to take care of it. Because I've seen some videos of some really nasty germs and things that happen in beards. And to be quite honest, it's nasty.
I also would like to say that, I do think that beards are for everyone. Or every male. I don't know if full beards are for, everyone. I personally don't even really like a full beard. And I think Matt is very attractive. And I just feel like, why hide the dimples? I mean, they're part of the most attractive thing about him. There's no reason to hide them. It's not giving what it said it was supposed to give. Like, I can't support it. Like, if he were to put a poll up, beard, no beard, I am all the way down here. So
he looks better with that beard. He looks stressed the hell out, but he looks better with that beard.
And he looks like he's on one of those. He looks like he would be on a Survivor. That looks like a Survivor Day 28 beard.
I like it. It's giving me, it's giving me rustic. It's giving me man of the wilderness, and I like it.
It's giving me when he pairs
up with jeans. He does have he has a good he's very blessed to be able to grow out a beard like that because not many men know to grow, not many men know, but can grow a beard like that because they're all straggly. There's always missing sections of the face, but he's like Santa Claus, dude.
He does look like Santa.
It's like I mean, I don't care so much for it, but I'm kind of in the middle then. It's like Kemi is nay, Hannah's like yay, and I'm just kind
Maybe
of like
he needed
very
a little
indifferent.
bit more hair, I think. I think if he had a little bit more hair with the beard, I might. If he had a little bit more hair up top and the beard was a little bit smaller, then I'd be into it, but no.
Yes, as M. Moses says, Tom Hanks castaway beard. That's exactly what he was giving me. And not to be very disgusting, but being kind of said it too, is like mustache and beards carry boogers.
And they're probably
Who do you know that's just letting boogers fall out of their nose? Like
they're gnats as well. I know it for a fact. He frequents Florida. It's humid. They're gnats. There are all sorts of insects in there. I know it for I know it for a fact.
I just
well,
don't have boogers just falling out of my nose that would be able to land on a beard, but I guess I can't speak for everyone.
well, I mean, so we'll talk a little bit about that a little later on, because there are some things that I kind of wanted to address with you ladies, because we do have Matt issuing a formal statement, but I don't want to get to that right now. We'll do that a little bit later on. Let's just get into the recap of the episode, because this week was hometowns, and like we use that hometowns loosely, right? Because they're not really in their hometowns, but but we kind of start off with Matt Preppin, and his first girl is Michelle. And I thought that was
cute. She's so
she
cute.
is really cute. Absolutely. I'm just loving. I really just love her energy, and the whole, like, she just screams so down to earth to me. Having those kids
from Minnesota, like, of course she is.
So what were your thoughts on this hometown? It was basically you're riding bikes and having her meet her students.
I'm sorry, but the fact that they were matching, and like, I just love this. Like, she is perfect for him. And I don't know if he just doesn't want to see it or if he doesn't see it, but like, they're just so sweet. And then, like, not really on topic, but Matt was really comfortable on that bike. Like, he was like swerving around, no hands, no feet. I was like, I'm the person on a bike who has like the helmet, I have the elbow pads, like I have the knee pads, I have the training wheels on. Like, I am not going to.
Wait, do you not know how to ride a bike, Kemi?
I mean, I do, but I still don't want to take that chance. It's like there's no insurance for bikes. But he was like swerving around, like just having the time of his life. I really like that. I mean, he's very athletic. But anyways, yes, they're so cute. They're so adorable. And like, honestly, I kind of want to know, like, behind the scenes sort of stuff. Like, did they plan to have them match? Because that just set it up to be too cute. Like, I was already here for it before the date even started.
I like Michelle. She's probably one of the most relatable ones on there. Like, she's really cool. I don't think that they have like sexual chemistry. Like, I'm not getting that from them. Like, I don't get super romantic. Like, to me, they seem like they really vibe as like besties. Like, they really like get along in that way. And maybe we'll see it, when it gets a little bit further on. But like right now, I don't like, he seems really comfortable around her, but not in like a romantic way. Like, he just seems like comfortable around her, like as a person to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into that, but like, I don't get like a super strong sexual connection vibe from them.
Yeah, we were talking, Kemi and I, we were talking last week with Busy about, remember, Kemi, you were saying, maybe she's one of those friends that he just had an understanding with and said, hey, I'm going to keep you till the end so that you can get your 1 million followers and your endorsements with Revolve. and Pretty Little Things. I don't know.
I don't think she cares about that though. She didn't even have social media.
I know she doesn't.
I don't think
literally until she like the season had already started. Like I don't think, maybe for someone else, but to me she doesn't give me that vibe.
I do think that I agree there's no sexual chemistry between them, but I honestly think it's more of a Michelle thing than a Matt thing. Like she doesn't seem like that type of person that would be like she doesn't strike me as someone that you would know that she was like, I'm ready to be all over him. Whereas like I see that like dripping from Bree. Like Bree looks like she is like, I have found my man. We need to consummate the relationship and then like go get married. Like that's the vibes that I get from Bree. Whereas Michelle just doesn't seem like that type of person that would even give off that sort of energy.
Maybe. And maybe too there was the context of the date. Like she's a teacher and like, she's in that kind of setting. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't get that from them. And the date was cute. I thought the date was really cute with the students and everything. I think it was like one of the best that they could do given the circumstances. So.
Absolutely. Can we talk about these kids though? Like they were asking some funny ass questions. I love children because of this, to be quite honest. They're just so raw and real and they really don't hold back. But Matt was very great about how he answered these questions too. He's so like, I feel like he belongs in, he should be a politician, to be quite honest. I feel he's so very
with kids, so I don't feel like that's like super out of his realm. Like that's what he does, is work with kids specifically. So I wasn't really surprised that he like did well with that,
Yeah. One thing that I agree with you, Hannah, in terms of like how they don't really scream chemistry. Look, maybe it's because I'm, older or whatever, that I'm able to see these red flags from a mile away. Maybe we've been watching way too much, Bachelor, Bachelorette, seasons. But the fact that Matt has already said that he's falling in love with certain women, kind of for me, just it's almost like getting a spoiler, like a really bad spoiler. And I feel really bad for the girls that aren't really, they're not really taking cue from some of the things that he's doing,
Yeah, I think it's weird that he's literally only said that to one person. Like, I don't understand how, like, even on like the production end, like why they showed that, because I feel like even without any kind of spoilers, like it just made it so glaring, really, like kind of where he's at, to me at least.
I agree. I think that if he was only going to say it to one person, production shouldn't have shown it at all, because it created like the drama with like Ben's season where he said it to, Lauren and JoJo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, plus we've seen a lot of Rachel. Like, to me, it's like, if she's not winning, she's obviously going to be Bachelorette. Like, how much more do we need to see of her? Jesus, Kylie Jenner.
I just don't. Here's the thing. Like, I know that he is the most interested and invested in Rachel because that's the one that he's shown the most interest towards, and that's the one that he's said that to. But like, if he hadn't really said that, like, I just feel like we don't know anything about him at this point. Like, and I guess, part of it too has to do with there being, like, most people are a contestant before, and then, you learn about them while they're there and then they come on. But like, I just really don't feel like we know anything about him. And it kind of sucks. Like, it's been so consumed by everything else and like all of the drama that like, I don't know anything about his personality really or anything like that. And I see TikToks and stuff like that of him with his friends and, people he's comfortable with. And there's this like big personality. And I just wish we like saw more of that during this. Like, I feel like he's not as open here. And like, we don't get to see, like, I couldn't tell you anything about this man except for what he does, who his friends are, what girls he likes. That's it.
I think we said, and I agree with you, Hannah. Like the thing is like, I think we kind of stated this in the beginning of the season, at least from what I thought was going to happen, was that he was going to be this is exactly who he was going to be, because in the very beginning, he states about how he is representing so many different people. You know, he represents white people, he represents Black people. He doesn't want to be looked at or hated on by either or. He's being safe. He's trying, as being the Black Bachelor, he is.
For a second, though, like, can we please, like, this whole he represents white people, like, yes, he is half white, but him walking into the world, like, you don't even look mixed. Like, he does not even look mixed. So to me, the representing white people thing, I want to be understanding and like empathetic towards it, but it's hard for me to like wrap my mind around it when, like, if he walked into a room, I wouldn't even know that he was mixed. Like, I would know that, like, Dale was mixed. I think Dale's mixed. I don't know if he is, but I would think Dale was mixed. I would walk in and know that, like, Serena P's mixed. Matt looks like he's not even light skinned. Like, he
is perceived no matter what room he walks in that he is Black. Like, that is the person people are going to perceive him as, no matter what.
Black. So that, like, just like every time, like, I hear him say something like that, it's just like, I try to be understanding about it, but I just roll my eyes at it, because it's like, you don't, though. Like, I know you feel like you do, but like, you don't. And like, in the country that we live in, perception is reality, period.
Yeah.
So
do you think that producers are like pushing him to say things like that, or do you think that that's him? And, you know, somebody actually mentioned that. I was about to say something about, remember America's one drop rule. And I mean, I think there are still people who definitely, you know, think that way, and that it is of that mindset. If you don't know what that means, it's, I mean, back in the day when it was kind of this like perception that if you have, you know, one drop of Blackness or melanin in you, then you're Black, like, no matter what, like that, it's the way that you're going to be perceived. And I think that there are still people that view that to be the case, that no matter what, that you, if you have any kind of Black heritage in you, like, you are fully Black. And I just don't understand why he continues to say this. Like, I don't know if producers are like asking him to say this, or
I think so, because like, you can just remember back to the first episode when he did a prayer. I loved it at the time, but like, thinking back, it's like, why did he do a prayer? And even if he did, why did they air it? It's because they're trying to make him more palatable to their audience. Yeah. Because how many, like, who isn't Christian? Like, not to be, I'm sorry for anyone who's watching, like, you might not be, but like, the majority of Americans are Christian. So I can almost guarantee you that the majority of leads that we've had are probably Christian as well. And I've been following Matt for a year, and like, yeah, he tosses up Bible verses every now and again, but like, I doubt that he like walks with our Lord and Savior every day of his life. And like, you know, he is swallowing that communion every Sunday. Like, I just don't see it. Like, I'm sure he's religious, but like, I'm sure that they emphasize that to make him more relatable to their audience that does not look like him.
To their audience, yeah. And I think that, like, I feel like they had to push that, or they tried to push that so hard that, like, why couldn't, I mean, if this is him, like, that's fine. Like, if this is who you are, and you are this, like, very religious individual, and you are, you know, a more, like, soft-spoken individual in this way, and, you know, you didn't, I feel like they are playing it up in a way. And like, I feel like you said, I feel like they're doing it to make him more palatable to people. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just strange. And it also brings into question, you know, the whole them picking him in the first place. It was strange. Like, it's not like you haven't had like quite a few Black men who were options. Even before Mike, I was watching a recap, I think it was of Rachel Lindsay's season. Do you remember Eric? I think it was Eric Bigger. He would have been an amazing Bachelor. I loved him. Like, and he had a great personality, I just don't understand. It's like so out of left field. And it's like, you know, we've talked about this before with you guys and, you know, Ovi and people being on shows and Big Brother. When you're on a show the first time, you're not really questioning things and the way things go the same way that you are if you've been there and you kind of know your way around the block and everything. Like you kind of know in the way that you can push things and you don't have to just like go with the flow with everything. And I feel like maybe that's why they picked him in a way. Like I'm not saying that he's not like an amazing person or that he doesn't have great qualities, but I feel like they may have picked him because he could have been pushed over.
Absolutely.
I agree. And like I think I mean it's sad because to me, just looking at him, he does give me that like doe eye. Like he just seems like such a nice person. Like
yeah,
he seems like just a genuinely kind person. And it's so sad. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, don't feel sorry for him. I feel so sorry for him for the way that his season's going because I know how I felt after my guest appearance on Jessica's season, and I just see that. No, seriously, like I see that happening with him, like in his subsequent interviews, I can just see like he is like changing as a person, and like that fun-loving guy is not there anymore. So it's really sad.
Yeah,
it is really sad. I mean, he like you said, you can see it. He just looks different, not just the beard. Like he looks different, kind of in his eyes, like in these interviews. And he just looks drained. And I mean, it really is sad because it is a historic season in the fact that it is the first Black man to be a lead, and all of it has completely been consumed by either one, just stupid drama, or two, racism. And it's like, you know, why can't, because this happened with Rachel Lindsay's season too, when she had that contestant that was from Nashville. I forget his name. Why can't our Black leads just have a normal season where they're, I get it, you can have drama. Why does it have to be like, they know what they're doing. Why does it have to be about like race? And I don't believe for a second that they didn't know all this shit about Rachel. I don't.
They definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I really think I think they thought this would happen and it would come up and it would cause controversy and stir. I don't think they ever thought it would be to the level that it is now, where they're having to get rid of their golden child, Chris Harrison. And you know, that's on them. That's what they get.
Yeah. Miss History, our girl Miss History. We want to thank her for the super chat, and she's always here having our backs. She says he doesn't give anything. Initially, he was aesthetically pleasing, but we haven't gotten any deeper. I don't know who he is. Does he? Well, how do you embrace what you see in the mirror every morning? It's sad. It's a very good it's a very good question.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard that his dad wasn't around growing up. Is that true?
I think he was primarily raised by his mother. And from what I've seen, I could be wrong, I think his mother has some pretty strong beliefs.
Right-leaning beliefs,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And I think, I think that's, you know, influenced.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, oh gosh, I really, obviously, a lot of us just can't speak on what it is nobody here could really speak on what it is to be biracial, right? And so, like, to me, like, I have some biracial friends, and it's always like, why do I have to choose? Why do I have to choose? Why do I have to choose? And it's always that duality that they're consistently battling with. And if they're battling with it, or at least people that I know are battling with it with two parents in household, I really couldn't imagine what it would be like for someone to battle it with just one with one side of the representation. And then having that opposite, it's like, you have a white mother at home and this is how you're being raised. But when you go outside, people are looking at you as a Black man.
I don't see how you could be a white mother and have a Black child though, and not like not be aware of these things? Like how
a black man at that, like
he's not a child anymore. Like you have
no, I mean like not a woman. Like you have like a man,
which is even, I mean, face so many different challenges, and like how do you not I don't understand. And it's not my thing to speak on it. But somebody did say that, Matt cannot choose to be white, like society sees him as black. And I think that's true. Like I think maybe for other mixed identities, like it is a different story, but I think that in our country at least, people are going to perceive you as black no matter what.
And like Jess, I get what you're saying about, he's raised by a white mom, and then like, it's a struggle, but like I feel like his experience in life can at least bring that home to kind of combat his mom a little bit, even if her beliefs are so strong. Because I know some family members that I grew up with, they're from Nigeria, they're very traditional, and like there is a certain mindset that comes with like being raised in a very like foreign traditional household. For example, like not my immediate family, but like, for example, homophobia is a very like real thing in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I've had like anytime someone in my family says something homophobic, like I immediately call them out. I'm like, oh, so now you're like, it'll be something slight though, like, I guess two guys are kissing, and I'm like, oh, so now you're homophobic, huh? And then they immediately get defensive, and it's like, no, I'm not. It's just like, I don't, that whole thing. But I feel like saying something like allows people to like reflect on themselves, and if he can't even like open the conversation with his mom, then the conversation's never going to be had. Like, you're a black guy in America, like you think if a police officer pulls you over, he's gonna be like, "Oh shit, you're the Bachelor"? You think that he doesn't watch The Bachelor? Like this is a real situation. Like you will always be black. Like you will never be like, no matter what, you will always be seen as like it. I just like it blows my mind, like the cognitive dissonance of it all. Like get a grip.
I wonder too, and I wonder if he has tried to have these conversations with his mother, and like, I mean, I can only imagine because I've seen it here in the South. I mean, Matt kind of is from the South. Like, I know of girls who are white and have mixed children, and they think that it gives them a pass to speak on issues and speak for the Black community in ways that like in that way, and they a lot of times get real bold just because they have a child who is that way. And so I can't imagine. I mean, that's girls who have had these children for a couple of years. I can't imagine it being someone who, has been raising this person for 29, 30 years, whatever. She's probably very difficult, even if he has tried to have conversations with her. So I don't know. And she's probably being enabled by all the people around her too. So I don't know. I feel really bad for him. I feel really bad that that's what his family life seems to be right now, and his love life seems to be right now. And it really sucks. But anyways.
Yeah.
It's also interesting for me that like I feel like when you grow up as like the only one in a community that has like a lot of people who don't look like you, but only a few people who do, like people go one of two ways. They either like try to like assimilate, not saying that that's what he's doing, but like they either go that route, or they like go out of their way to like find people who look like them, et cetera, et cetera. Like I know me, like I just like want to be understood by people. So like I would gravitate to what's familiar, but I've come to realize that not everyone is like that. And I wish I could understand that more, like why you wouldn't want to like be around something that's like more similar to you. Like even like a conversation Jess and I were having earlier about bleaching our teeth, Jessica doesn't understand how I might not have to bleach my teeth the way that she might have to bleach her teeth, and like, but yeah, to me, I try to wrap my mind around it, but sometimes
I won't even get, that's too deep. That's too deep, Kemi. People aren't really going to understand that one. But no, it's a deep rooted, conversation. Yeah. Obviously, we could go on hours and hours on this. If any of you want to keep on discussing it, please go through the chats, and then we'll, we could, maybe answer a question or talk about a topic if it's something that y'all want to kind of go through. We obviously didn't want to do this recap and just talk about, race, although all of us are very, very passionate about that subject.
Yeah, I just don't think, here's the thing, this season especially, it's just like, you can't talk about this. Like, it's just like glooming over like every episode that I watched. I'm just like, it's just sad. Like, I'm just watching this and watching him with this girl, like, that I know now all of this stuff over, like, about, and I just think it's sad to watch him, like, fall in love with this person and then know all of this stuff about it, and like he didn't even get a chance to like discern and decide, and he might have decided that he wanted to forgive her, whatever. He didn't even get a chance to do that. Like, I don't know, it's just sad. It's not enjoyable for me to watch. But
and it makes you kind of wonder her motives, like, is she there for the right reasons? Because if this is like the mindset that you have, like, chances are you don't typically date outside of your race. And if you haven't before, then like, what is, like, to me, it's like, oh, you found the opportunity to go on TV and like, amass a following. And now, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously Matt's, hot, but like.
Yeah, but you can fetishize him and not respect him.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I think that people can learn, and I do think that they can grow, but I just find it troubling, especially with how recent a lot of the stuff is. And it's not, I think it's a lot different than it being something that you did when you were 13 years old in high school versus something you did when you're a 22-year-old woman. Like, it just is not, I don't know.
Well, in regard to, and this is the last that I'll say of like Matt, in my opinion, of like what he's kind of, or what we're seeing is we were talking about in the beginning how he kind of almost gave a disclaimer saying that he was white and that he was black, and that he just, and there were things about his statements that were kind of talking about how he didn't kind of want the backlash if he decided that he was gonna, choose a white woman. And like, you had 25, like, out of all of the Bachelor seasons, the most historical, and having 25 women of color, aside from who, aside from the other women that were on the show. And in the final four, you have 3 women of color and 1 white woman. And it just seems like he's gravitating towards the white woman. And like, you see that his mother, even though he presents black, and yes, that's what people see, and he is a black man, we forget, like, he was raised by, from what he says, a very strong Christian white woman, and this could be very much who he is attracted to, just based on what he knows and what he's been raised on. It could be that his best friend is a white man. He hangs out with white people. Like, this is, even though he is a black man, this is what he is used to being around, and what you said, Kemi, what he's comfortable with. This is what he's comfortable with.
I thought it was really interesting too. Somebody pointed out, there was a tweet, and it was from, I believe it was one of the girls. I think her name is Kristen, and she was one of, like, I think maybe one of the night one goers, and she was a dark-skinned black woman, and she talked about how it's, a historic season for diversity, yet not one like dark-skinned Black woman got a one-on-one date. It was all, you know, biracial women or, you know, lighter-skinned women. And that's something too, like I didn't even think about really until it was pointed out. And I'm just like, damn, I mean, it's still, I mean, everybody's known that The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, like as a franchise, has a preference towards, even when they are, you know, inclusive of people of color, it's a certain look, a certain type.
Yeah.
And just, you know, there's levels to it.
Yeah, there's levels. And here's the thing, like in a season like the one that, you know, that Kemi kind of dropped in on, that I was on. And, you know, before we got on, even like Kemi, I won't speak to Kemi, but you could say it if you want to, Kemi. But I know that even though I'm married and I have a whole husband, before going on the show, they asked me what my type was, who I was attracted to, the type of men that I liked, you know, all of these things. So you know, yeah, and so you know off the bat that on a season like The Bachelor, they know absolutely the type of women. Of course, they would have to pick these type of women in order for Matt to even be interested and actually take it seriously. So yeah,
I think a lot of the women, from what I understand with the casting process for The Bachelor and Bachelorette, though, is that a lot of the women or the men, you know, regardless of which season is airing, a lot of them are chosen before The Bachelor or Bachelorette is even announced. Because we saw that with Claire, that, you know, they had already cast basically that entire cast and had to go in and recast half of it because they had picked an older Bachelorette and their whole cast was not cast accordingly to that, because most of the people they choose are in that 25-30 range. And so I do think that there were probably some picked specifically for Matt or Matt's preferences, but I think a lot of times they're picking the same people no matter what. Like you're picking those people that are going to be good TV, you know, conventionally attractive people. You're going to have, you know, your handful of people from the South that are like the Southern girls or whatever. Like you get kind of a similar mix almost every season, except for this season. I think that they felt a really big push for diversity, and they felt pressure from the outside because that's what people have been asking for years and years and years. And they did, you know, they gave us a diverse cast, and I'm happy about that. But I don't know that they specifically casted them for Matt specifically.
You know what's weird? I feel like every reality show, the majority of the audience is from like the Midwest, these southern states. And it's like, what the fuck are people in New York doing? Like, are they busy? Like,
they're just living their life. We don't have anything else to do. So
apparently, like, I'm just like, damn, Big Brother and Big Brother, Survivor, all the Bravo shows, The Bachelor, everyone's main audience is like Arkansas. And I'm just like, I'm over here in Maryland, like I watch TV too. Like my neighbors do too. Like I don't get it, but
they must know. They must know that they're like demographic. I mean, they can see on TVs and like analytics and stuff with marketing, like where big chunks are from. It must be here. It's gotta be.
And like I get that they cater to their demographic and all these shows cater to their demographics. I understand that, but I feel like they either don't understand or they don't care that these fans are going to watch the show regardless. Like they can bitch about like, oh, if Chris Harrison's not there, I'm not watching it. They're still going to watch. If there's a Black Bachelor, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
They're still going to watch. If you guys make it diverse, I'm not going to watch it. They're still going to watch, because let me tell you, when Luann gets off of her shift at, you know, the local sip and wash, she's coming home to watch The Bachelor. So I just like, I feel like they clearly don't care about the things that they don't care about anything more than being performative, because they know that their audience is still going to watch regardless. So you just don't want to.
Yeah. And just I wanna make clear too. I think someone in the comments, obscurity said, Jessica, he isn't a black man. I had to kindly correct you. And look, I said he was biracial. I didn't. I mean, I personally didn't say he was just a black man. It's other people that say that he is a black man, regardless. So I mean, that is just something that I wanted to clear up. It wasn't just me. Oh, Hannah is coming back in.
Sorry, my internet's being flaky, but
yeah. So I mean, we're saying that even though he is a biracial man, that he presents black, and that's what people see. So,
somebody was talking about the ratings being lower. Are they? Like, how much? Do y'all know anything about that? Like, what are the ratings like for this season? Do we know?
I think he said Rachel Lindsay's were lower. But who knows? Was that during the recession? I mean, there are a multitude of factors that could, impact.
Rachel Lindsay's season was in like 2017.
Yeah.
Actually, she was one of my. I've been on and off on Bachelor and Bachelorette seasons, but I could say that she was actually the one who got me back into the Bachelorette. She was actually the first full season that I watched.
I love Rachel Lindsay.
I do also love this, like, they don't want to lose their core audience. Like, you might have some people, you don't want to lose your core audience while you're still trying to appeal to a broader demographic. Like, you're going to have to pick one, but like, you can't have it both ways. You can't sit here and try to appeal to racists and then also get people of color. Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you see how that worked for Rachel, because every time I watch something or read something that is part of Bachelor Nation that has Rachel Lindsay on it, like, they are extremely mean.
God,
like I can't even stomach.
I literally hesitate to even click on her comment section, like, because people just stay. God, I cannot imagine I literally can't fathom how exhausted she has to be from the way that people treat her. It is just ridiculous. It really is.
She's so much better than this franchise. Like, I give it up to her for even entertaining this bullshit for this long. Like, she has so many other things going on that I don't even know why she puts up with it. Like, I understand that she feels some sort of attachment to it because that's how she found her husband, and it's a huge part of her career to getting to where she is. But it's like, they're just going to keep rotating the same thing that they've been doing for the past 20 years while she continues to excel in life. Like, I personally, as much as I want to see her reform the franchise, because I would like to see the franchise be reformed, I would rather see her move on with her life and, like, go on to do great things that are so much better than Bachelor Nation. Like,
I would too. And it's just like, if she's going to keep doing all of this work, like, and if she wants to, like, it's her choice. She can do whatever she wants to with this franchise and, like, put in the work for it. But they need to be paying her like an executive producer, because she's doing the damn work of an executive producer at this point. And, like, speaking for the franchise, and people essentially treating her like she is, like, the diversity chair of Bachelor Nation. And I just, like, they need to be paying her something for this shit. Like, the Instagram money is not enough for all of the work that she is doing in this. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. But let's try to get back on track. So then we have, after Michelle's hometown, we go into
Rachel's. We go into Rachel's. Yeah. Her
Rachel's
little trust.
personals, yeah.
Her little trust fall exercise and stuff.
Okay, I did think this was, like, a good date idea, though. I thought it was a good, like, this kind of thing, especially if like Matt was saying, he's, like, an adrenaline junkie or whatever. And, like, I do think things like that, like, bond you in a way. Like, you're going through something where you're scared and excited or whatever. And it is, like, I don't know. I would like a date like that. I thought it was a good plan for where they were. What did y'all think?
I think so too. Like I personally really want to go skydiving, so I was just really excited to see it. And I agree. Like I think when people go through like I don't know if it was her either of their first time doing something, but when they go through something that's like huge like that, like it does bond them.
Yeah. Can we talk about the youngin that was strapped to her? Because seriously, he looked like he was 13. Did you see the guy that was strapped to her? And now I realize why she fell flat on her face when she did the landing, because dude looked like he was legit 14.
Somebody said in the comments, because I've never been skydiving before, so I don't really know like what you're supposed to do. But somebody said in the comments it had to do with like the way that her legs were when she came down. Like maybe she didn't like put them the right way. I don't really know. It was, given the context of what we know, I thought it was really damn funny. And she came up like, when she came up from the fall, she looked like that, you know, that Bratz doll meme of the little brat.
Yeah, with the hair.
And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what she looked like to me. And it was so funny, like they really didn't even do her dirty with it either, because like 5 seconds later they've got her hair brushed out and her makeup fixed.
I was like, oh my God, they had hair and makeup come over ASAP.
Yep.
Yo, I was like, and Moses says it has zero sympathy for her. I actually am. I'm also. Kemi told me I was very mean for this, but I didn't care. When I saw her fall flat on her face, I was just thinking like, this is karma for her life. I don't know, like whatever she's doing something bogus, but for her to have like literally fallen like that on her freaking face was just like, I personally didn't have any. I mean, I wasn't hoping for it to happen, but I didn't feel like, oh my God, poor her. Like, I wasn't like that.
Also, I just thought it was so weird. Okay, so me and like my friends were talking about this last night. Okay, so when she falls, Matt's like, oh my God, Rachel. And he like runs over there and he just kind of like stands over her and he's like, are you okay? And then she like later on when she's talking to her mom, she's like, yeah, I mean, you should have seen like how he was when I was hurt. And like, he was really concerned or whatever. And I was just like, this is really like bare minimum. Like he just asked if you were okay. Like I would expect anybody to do that. Like if you just like literally landed on your face from the sky, like you just asked if you were okay. I don't know. It just cracks me up that they'll be like, they take like the smallest thing and they'll be like, this is the sign that I needed.
He showed up.
It just cracked me up. But
yeah, I mean, and then we go into like, yeah, the whole mom and dad situation in talking. I know all of us were probably looking for signs of racism somewhere or another. I don't know. I was like glued to the TV trying to see how they were looking at him and if they had any like any sort of issues. And
I didn't think for a second that there would be, because the people who like have those beliefs, especially here in the South, they're not it's not the ones that are like have like Confederate flags hanging from their trucks and stuff like that. Like these people will be nice to you. Like they will not, like, it's not like they're going to be like straight up mean or anything like that to you or say anything offensive, but it's the fact that they like hold these beliefs. Like that's the problem. So I didn't think for a second that they were going to like say anything like that, especially on TV. But just go look at their Facebooks. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
I was very surprised too, because his her and I said this I think on our chat or whatnot. I was very surprised, like her dad doesn't look like all the way white to me. And I know that sounds, probably it could be my ignorance or whatnot, but looked very like, he looked very indigenous, like very almost like he could be Hispanic almost. I was looking at him and I was like, you know, dark features, dark, you know, like dark hair, dark eyes.
He does, like, I think it's very interesting that like she looks very much so like him, and then the other sister looks very much so like the mom. Like, it's not like a split between the two of them. It just looks like one of them was like spawned from one, and then one of them was spawned like directly from the other, and like that's it. I don't know. I don't want to like guess someone's, race or ethnicity or anything like that. But she does have like a more like olive-y skin tone, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. BB says, when talking to her dad, what did Rachel mean when she said, "I'm different"? I feel like she did what every other girl says, like, and does and thinks when her guy is dating multiple, if she's dating a dude or something, or it's always the "I'm different, I'm the exception, not the rule." Like, yeah, he cheated on this girl, but now he's with me. I'm different. He's not going to cheat on me because I'm me, because I'm different. Our relationship is different. Or like, it's all that. That's what I feel like the "I'm different" thing is like, she's very, very, I don't know. She's just very, either he whispered in her ear that she was the one, or
I think he gave her a hint that she was like it, because I remember Colton's season with Cassie. Like, I don't know if he wrote about it in his book and I read it on Reddit because I live on Bachelor Reddit, but he like hinted to Cassie at some point that like she was the one, and then he was like misleading production, trying to make it seem like it was Hannah G or something like that. So I feel like Matt like let her know, like, yeah, it's you.
Yeah, I mean, it also like, if they talk, which I'm sure they do, like her and the other girls, you could probably pick up on that from them too. Like, even just like finding out, like, have you guys said "I love you"? Like, have you guys said anything like that? I'm sure they talk about stuff like that, at least like the ones that get along. I bet she could get the vibe from that. But anyways, so their nighttime date is pretty uneventful, except for she is like disappointed that he did not ask for her dad's permission, or like her dad's blessing. So I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, well, if he's not going to ask for Rachel's dad's blessing, I don't think he's going to ask for any of these dad's blessing. I was like, he likes her, to me, the most, and he didn't even talk about that. Like, he didn't even bring it up. So I was like, I don't think Mr. Matt has any intention of getting engaged.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you there. Well, let's go to Bree, because I really liked this one, the off-roading, and how she was really cute and me like, "Oh, you almost killed me, so let me almost kill you" type situation. She's such a boss.
I love Bree. She just seems like such a sweet person, and you can tell she likes him so much, and I feel so bad for her because you can just tell she likes him so much, and like, I'm sure he likes her, but like, he's like in love with Rachel. So
God, she's so beautiful though. Like, I literally just stare at that woman. Like, I'm like, God, you are so perfect. She's so pretty.
And what is her mom drinking? Like, I was like, that's why I was messaging you, like, how old is Bree again? Like, and how old is her mom, who just had a baby and looks like could be her sister?
Her mom's
30. They're both beautiful. I mean, her mom's skin was literally like glowing. Like, she should be sponsored for whatever she's got on her face right now. They're both beautiful. And I mean, we can get to this, but like, I really loved, you can see the relationship that she has with her mom. And I think that's like the relationship that Bree seems to have with her mom is like the relationship I feel like all girls kind of like want. Like, her mom asks, like, you can just tell how close they are. Her mom asks like all the right questions. Jessica, I told you this last night.
At 13?
Yes, I told you that.
She had her at 13. Someone says she has her at 17. Which one? 17, 13?
It's 13, because she talked about it at the beginning of the season on her one-on-one with him. Because she talked about that, and I remember us talking about that. She was 13.
Oh, I don't remember. So this is so insane to me. That's, by the way, like I do remember being 13 and a girl was pregnant in my class. So not in my class, but in the class, in another class.
I mean, there's always different circumstances for things too. You never know. But regardless, I mean, Bree is a beautiful and obviously super smart and amazing woman. And it seems like they have a great relationship. So, and also I feel like it'd be really damn cool to only be like 13 years apart from like your daughter once she gets to be an adult. Like you can like be like friends, you know?
Absolutely. It's kind of weird to see, like, it would be really weird for me to see my mom like literally just have another baby at my age and then also with her nose ring. And it was just like, yo, are you like, I mean, for crying out loud, I think I'm like 10, I think I'm 13 years older than you, Hannah. So that would be like me having you as my child or something. It's just like really odd. It's so crazy.
How old are you, Jess?
I'm 39.
Okay,
I'm turning 40 this year. So,
I turned 23 in March. So
yeah, that's crazy. That's so crazy. But yeah, Makisha says, I feel like Bree realizes Matt's not into her. Yeah. She got the third rose and it was actually very apparent to her when she got that rose. And I kind of felt bad for her too. She doesn't deserve it.
Jess, you can be my mom.
Huh? Yeah, let's not throw that out there all the time. I mean, I don't care so much, but like, Hannah, I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom, okay?
Anyways, so then we get into Serena P's date.
Yeah, so that was first of all, I forgot that she was even Canadian. So, you know, I have a special heart.
She brought it up every 5 damn seconds on this date.
That's when I realized it. I was like, oh, and she's actually not far. Yeah, she's not far from.
Where did they find all these Canadian flags? Like, and did they have to plaster them everywhere? Like some high school students, like Justin Bieber posters, like they were everywhere. And then like that poutine was not looking appetizing. And the way these BB Can contestants talk about poutine, I was expecting.
What is poutine?
It's like fries with gravy on it.
Yeah, and cheese. Yeah, it's like a big Canadian thing. They have a lot of places that sell like poutine.
Listen, when she started bringing up Canada, you already know me, Jess. Like, the only thing I want to hear when I hear Canada, I want to see a moose. So I was waiting for them to be like, God, like, you know, we go moose hunting, but nothing.
No, look, I'm with Makisha. Makisha's a fellow Canadian. Well, did I say fellow Canadian as if I'm Canadian? I've had Canadian, well, we'll not go there. But she says all of us Canadians are proud not to be American sometimes. And I at one point was trying to pretend I was Canadian just so that people wouldn't know that I was American at times. So she's actually Serena P's from Markham, and that's not too far away from Scarborough. So that's so she's in the Toronto-ish area.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's neighbors to my in-laws pretty much. But yeah, Canadians are good people. I love them.
This date, I'm gonna need y'all to cover what happens with her parents because I'll be honest, I'm gonna fall asleep a little bit. So.
Okay, let's talk about her sister for a second. Her and her sister seem to have such a great relationship that she knows. Like, she already knows that, like, Matt is missing that kind of, like, X factor that she's seen her have with other, like, her previous relationship or I guess with other guys. And I love that she was able to point that out to Serena because I think that was the switch that Serena needed to kind of cancel it all together. Like, we're already at hometown. There's no time left to like gain this X factor, and you know it's just not there.
Yeah. And I agree. I think look, that's why hometowns exist, right? I mean, she probably knew, look, Matt is a hot guy and there's something I like, but at the same time, I mean, is it enough to want to get engaged to this dude? And sometimes having your sister, having family members just confirm it for you, it was just like that wake up call that I feel like she realized, oh my God, I'm not, first of all, she has some traumatic history that we don't know really much about. She has this traumatic history from a previous relationship where she says that she thought everything was good and she was in love and she didn't see the signs until like she realized that her relationship, like it wasn't real, or that, that they weren't going to get married or whatever the case was. So it goes, either she's like really scared to commit, or she's just like, I mean, she basically says it to him, you're not my person. And she walks him out like her ass was the Bachelorette. Like she puts him in the van, she puts him in the car.
Here's the thing though, is like, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more. I mean, realistically, like all of these people, you've got one individual, you've got one man, one woman, and you've got 30-something people that are coming to meet them. Like, not all of these people are going to like you. Like, no matter how attractive you are, like, you're not going to vibe with all of these women. And even if you do, they might not vibe with you. And so, like, I'm glad, I'm happy for her that she, like, realized that and, took herself out. But I honestly think that's the same thing that we saw with Kit. I don't think Kit liked him very much either. I really don't. Like, I don't think that, I don't think it's super uncommon. I think this happens a lot more than we realize.
Absolutely. And I think that a part of it is just like, also, I don't know. I feel like also a part of it is just like you're almost kind of gaslighted into thinking that you like them. I could only imagine that somehow along in the middle of any of these things, the girls aren't really into him. But, we, like, men and women alike, you have that ego, that part of your ego where when you are, when you're going through someone not liking you, all of a sudden you're like, wait, no, I like you. Like it's almost like having a toy you don't like to play with, and then you put it aside and someone else picks it up and you're like, no, I want to play with the toy. It's my toy. Like, I like this toy. And it's the same thing. Maybe Serena was just like other girls want him, so I should be wanting him too. And everybody saw that she wasn't into him, and it took her, her sister to be like, you're not into him,
I think too, it's like these people, when they are the lead, like they are supposed to be kind of like the ultimate, like the most desirable person. Like, the whole country is basically watching you, and they're watching all these people fight to date you, and it loses a little bit of its magic or appeal or whatever when it looks like your contestants aren't into you. And so I think that this happens more than we realize, and that they just get sent home. Just because it kind of ruins, like, not to say that this ruins Matt by any means or whatever, but if this happened a lot more, like, who would watch a season where all the girls don't like the lead? I don't know.
I think that's definitely a big reason why they allowed the Cassie and Colton shenanigans to go on, because, it was clear as day that Cassie was not into it. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me too, because out of all of them, I think that with Serena P, did he or he not say that he was falling for her too? He kind of mentioned it.
I think he said he was to her family.
Yeah, but then you have someone like with Bree who is literally saying, I'm falling for you, and he smiles and he's like, thank you, kind of. That's like the worst. That's the worst. If I'm saying I'm falling for you and you're like, thank you for sharing that.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. I'd automatically be like, this dude is not into me. Let me change my thought process.
I couldn't imagine watching this back as Bree. Like, I couldn't imagine watching this season at all as Bree. So
That's hard.
I would be pissed, but that's pretty much it. Then once he goes pretty much straight to that rose ceremony, and there's 3 roses and there's 3 girls, and he's not just gonna send Bree home; he's gonna take her to the fantasy suite. So we got all 3 of them going into fantasy suite week.
Do you think he's going to do anything with these girls in fantasy week?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
All 3?
Bree and Rachel, I believe so. Yes.
I think he's gonna have a moment with Michelle that, like, the kind of moment that that Ivan and Tayshia had.
Yeah, talking about religion and stuff.
Yeah, no, they're not talking about religion, but just more like the friendly vibes of like, oh, this isn't going to happen. And they're going to probably stay up all night just talking and not doing anything.
I don't know. I don't know what he'll do. I don't know if we'll like get any like innuendos about it. Whatever. Somebody's saying Matt is a virgin. I don't know. And has he ever said that?
I don't think he's a virgin. Wait, wasn't Colton a virgin?
Yeah, but Colton was Colton, so.
Oh, yeah, I feel like if Matt was a virgin, they would probably have said that. That would have been more newsworthy.
I don't think that man's a virgin, but
definitely not a virgin walking around looking like that with women like me in the world.
Oh, okay. I mean, so there's ultimately 2 more weeks. We have, okay, guys, this is where we go into, if you're not into spoilers or anything like that, we're warning you now, things might get a little crazy. But we're talking about the next 2 weeks. We have next week is the Women Tell All, which we'll get to see a lot of Victoria crying and playing victim again. That's what I saw. Yeah, and Serena P, it looks like there might be a little moment where she might have been like thinking that maybe she made the wrong choice in leaving Matt.
Guess we'll see.
We'll see.
I think there's going to be a lot of people thinking they made some wrong choices.
Yeah. And then we have the final rose. We have the final episode after that. And for those who everybody knows, right? Who he picks.
Yes.
These are spoilers. So, yeah. I mean, like, I'd
assume that X out now if you don't want to hear.
Yes, if you don't want to know who wins, because we already know who got the final rose. We're going to talk about quickly. You guys can leave. Okay, bye. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, so it seems to be that Rachel does get the final rose, but Matt just came out with a statement talking about everything that's transpired since then, and we've recently gotten spoilers from Reality Steve saying that he is no longer with Rachel.
Well, I think that I personally think that it has more to do with optics than anything else. I think that if this was a relationship that came together off screen and these transgressions were brought to his attention, he would have at least tried to work through it. And he probably would have been successful in working through it. But I think that there's just too much that comes, like, he's the first Black Bachelor. He has the most diverse cast, and he still picks a white woman. The white woman's racist. Chris Harrison puts out all of these like whatever like statements and like apologies. Chris is getting fired for his racism, and then if he still like dates the girl afterwards, like I'm sure like even if none of this happened, I don't think he would have married her. Like I think he really wanted to go the Tyler C route of like getting really loved off of the show, ends up dating like some model, is cemented as loved, whatever. I think that they would have had an amicable breakup after like a year and a half or so, and then he goes on to date, I don't know, Adriana Lima, and then whatever, yeah. But with that in mind, he definitely would, like, it doesn't make sense for him to stay with her through like this, because it's just bad for it's not a good look. And like, he's someone who clearly cares a lot about his image from both the Black audience and the white audience, so it just makes more sense for him to just like break things off. So yeah,
either that or he waits a long time. If he really is in love with her, then he'll just wait a really long time until people forget, and then probably figure out some statement to give about how she's learned and something about cancel culture. I don't know. Your thoughts?
the woke police.
Maybe he is part of the work police. Yes.
But yeah, I think that I mean, what did you guys have any like final statements about like his statement or anything?
No, I'm really excited to see this Women Tell All. I just want to see the drama at this point, and then I'm really disappointed that this After the Final Rose is not live. I don't really understand their reasoning for that completely, but I'm very interested to see what Matt and Rachel specifically have to say. And also kind of like, I'm interested to hear kind of the perception of the other women about this, because I mean, like, they also just basically spent all this time and wasted all this time, and he didn't even end up with the girl that he picked. Like, all of it was like for nothing. I think it's one thing, you spend all this time and it doesn't work out between you two because the person has a genuine connection with someone else, and that they eventually, a lot of times I feel like we see the other contestants, they're happy for the lead. They're happy for them, and they support them, and I just wonder what they think about all of this. I really do. So
yeah, I agree. I think like I feel like they would be doing the whole franchise and all of us a huge disservice if they don't do this after the final rose and actually do the due diligence of having these questions and the questions to be asked. And I don't know. I
think you're right. They don't want it to be live because then they can't edit it a certain way. So
yeah, and I get it that people say they want to make it as picture perfect as possible, but at this point there is no, like, it. We know, like, when it comes to covering things up, it's just more of a shit show. So they really need to just like come out with it. It does no good to anybody when you're trying to hide things. And so, I mean, with all of that being said, I'm really hoping that that these questions that they do ask are really thoughtful, and we get some really good answers from them. That's all I mean, at this point, I don't even know what I would want. But I agree with you, Hannah, in the sense that I want next week to just be pure, just cattiness. I want to hear like the drama. I want girls to be called out on their mean girl shit. I want to see Victoria like crying, playing victim, and other girls calling her out for it. I want to see all of the shit show, because at that point, like, it's way better than.
But we will see. We'll see it next week, and we'll be here next Tuesday to talk about it. So
we will. So, like, we want to thank absolutely everybody who came on and chatted. The chats were really lively today. I know they were really great topics. So we appreciate that. If you want to carry on the conversation, make sure that you send us comments. We love reading them. So make sure you click like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when we're going on live. We have 2 more episodes or 2 more recaps of The Bachelor every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We will also be on Thursday for our challenge recaps. And that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central as well. So make sure you like right now. If you didn't like us, share with some of your friends if these are conversations you want to keep forward. Also, want to bring this out too. We only have a few more episodes of each of these. So if there are other shows, reality shows coming up and things of that nature that you all are watching and you want us to consider for a possible recap, Kemi, Hannah, and I are really going to be talking about like if we're going to keep on recapping other shows. So if there's another show that you like, make sure to comment below. Let us know what we should be recapping.
Let us know.
Yep, and follow us on all of our IG, Twitter handles, and such. We love you all so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And I love you, ladies, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.